Hey Macro Machiners, we're back for another workout of the day. Today's workout is called Cheeeeese. It's 5 rounds for time, 5 handstand push-ups, 10 V-ups with a plate, 15 box jumps, 20 renegade rows, 25 kettlebell swings, and 30 double unders or 60 singles. So we're gonna go through all of those movements and the modifications, and then you can get started. Okay, so the first movement is going to be our handstand push-up. So we will go through the modifications, so don't worry. We're just going to quickly go over the actual handstand push-up first. So there's 2 ways. You can either do it kipping or you can do it just a strict push-up. So you're going to need a wall for this. If you don't need a wall, awesome. I personally need a wall. So there's 2 ways to get up onto the wall. You can either kind of cartwheel yourself into the wall, like so. Or you can start from the bottom and but you're gonna have to push yourself into a handstand push-up first. So you can kind of put your head on the ground and then roll up into the wall. And then push up, and that would count as 1. So strict push-ups, no kipping. Give me a key. Kipping push-ups would be, you'll be like in a seated upside down, like if your chair was there, and you're gonna kick up and push up at the same time. You're gonna use the momentum of the kick to push up. So that is the regular handstand push-up. You can also, if you have an ab mat, put the ab mat, it's just for your head to land on. 1, it gives you a little bit extra padding, but 2, it's a little less further down that you have to go. Or you can even put a plate there with the ab mat on top of it, and it's just a shorter distance for you to do the push-up. So we're gonna go over the modifications now. Don't worry if you can't do that yet. Okay, so the first modification is gonna be with the box. Now you can set the box up as high as you want or as low as you want. The higher it is, the harder it's going to be. So depending on how much you want to give how much of a challenge you want to give yourself. So essentially we want to set up on the box. Our feet are going to be on the box. And we're going to set our hands underneath our shoulders, and we're going to come down and kind of come forward because you want your head to land in between your hands, not out. So the further you walk yourself in, the harder it's going to be. And that kind of simulates the whole being up on the wall. Now you can also put your feet on your med ball. You can also do just regular push-ups. Or you can do the modification of the push-ups as well. So those are all the options for the handstand push-ups. Okay, so the next movement is going to be 10 V-ups with a plate. So let's just go over the regular V-up first. We're gonna come up and our hands and feet are gonna come up at the same time. We wanna try to touch those toes and keep those legs straight if we can. We really wanna engage that core. So if you are struggling, you can just do regular V-ups, or you can even do a modification with the knees as well. So with the plate, what we want to do is just going to add a little bit more resistance. So we're going to come and touch the plate with our feet. You can also do alternating, which will be a little bit easier than both feet. So yeah, so you can either do regular V-ups knees or with a plate or alternating with a plate. So those are your choices for the V-ups. Okay, so the next movement is going to be our box jumps. We're gonna do 15 box jumps. So a couple things to keep in mind when we jump on the box, we wanna jump all the way on, our foot should land all the way on the box, no hanging off the box. We also wanna land in a quarter squat, not a full squat. So you're gonna set up at the box, both feet jump at the same time. We're gonna land in that quarter squat and stand all the way up. What we don't wanna do is land in a full squat and stand all the way up. The reason for that being is that when you land in that full squat, it's a lot on those hips and knees. Plus we want to extend our jump as high as we can. So we can modify this by either lowering the box, you can higher the box too. You can set up plates and jump up to the height that you want to jump up on the plates. Now with the plates, make sure they are the bumper plates, not metal plates. I have to say that. So the other thing we can do is step ups. So again, full foot on the box. We're gonna step all the way up and then put our other foot on the box. So again, when we step all the way up, our leg is straight before placing the other foot on the box. So now when we jump up on the box, we can either jump back down or we can step down from the box. Okay, so the next movement is going to be our renegade rows. So ideally we're going to have 2 of the same dumbbells. If you don't, you can do it with 1 and just switch back and forth. But so we're going to set our dumbbells up so that they are about, our hand should be set up like a push-up. Our hand should be underneath our shoulder. So that's how far it should be apart. We're gonna get into the push-up position. We're gonna have our legs a little bit wider than a push-up because we're gonna stabilize ourselves. So ideally what we don't wanna do is when we pull the dumbbell up, we don't wanna be twisting our body. We wanna really stabilize our body where it is and try to have as little to no movement as possible. This is gonna make you engage your core a little bit more. So I'll show you from the front first. We're gonna set up and we're just gonna pull up. So your elbow should be coming about to your back. You don't really need to pull up further than that. So again, we're gonna come up and we just switch back and forth, and you notice I'm not really moving. What we don't want to do is, something crazy like that. Let me show you sideways. As Mia is in a playful mood today. So again, our feet are wider. The wider, you don't want like too wide. You don't want too narrow. Just a nice stable platform. And you're just gonna pull. Now, some modifications. You can go on your knees. Let me do it over here. You like a modified push-up. Now this is going to be a little bit harder stabilizing because you're not going to have that wide platform, but oh, great. So yeah, and then you can pick and choose the weights that fit you, right? The other thing is, if you're not ready for weights, you can also just do shoulder taps. So again, we want a decently stable with platform, and we're just going to tap our shoulders and try to have little to no movement when we're doing that. So that's 20. So it's going to be, you know, each hand counts as one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Our next movement is going to be the kettlebell swing. So let's just go over the proper form first. Our knees are slightly bent when we come back. They're not in a squatting position. This isn't a squat. I see a lot of people squat down and do some weird crap. So when we come back, our knees are going to be slightly bent. Our butt is going to be, and our hips are going to be driven backwards. So we're going to be going like towards the wall here. And we're going to use our hip momentum forward. And that's going to swing the kettlebell up. So make sure that you're driving hard, and when you get to the top, squeeze that butt together and then come back down. And when we come back down, we want to have our outside of our wrist hit the inside of our thigh here. That's as far as we want to come back. If we're hitting anywhere above, it means we're probably either bending down too much, we're squatting, we're coming down through too much, or if you feel like you're not getting a kettlebell high, it's not the strength in your arms. We're not pulling it up with your arms. You're using that hip drive, that leg drive to get that kettlebell up. It's all about the momentum and thrust, not about lifting it up. So real quick. And we want to get to about eye height here. And again, I'm not pulling, it's just a nice movement. And we want to keep our backs completely straight, our shoulders back. If you start feeling a pressure in your lower back, check your form. Again, we don't want any like weird bending. It should be, your back should be completely straight. And then just come up to about here. So if you don't have a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell as well. Same thing, we're just going to use a dumbbell instead. I don't know why I always get those two mixed up. And then the last but not least movement of the workout is going to be 30 double unders, which you guys all know by now is a jump rope where you're passing under your feet twice before landing. If you are not able to do double unders, no fear. You can do 60 single unders, so just a regular jump rope 60 times. Or you can do jumping taps to simulate the movement of the double unders, and that would be 60 of those as well. So you're going to tap and that's the rhythm of the double under. You can always try out the double unders. You can do some doubles, some singles. Challenge yourself. So we're going to go through all those movements with those reps 5 times. Mark down your times and weights. Good luck.